In another little update for the 1911 here, I thought I would try these. I wasn't too pleased with how the tape went as far as putting color on the sights. It was okay, but it tends to wear off, especially from a holster. And so I thought I would try this here, this touch-up sight pins. I like this little kit here that comes in the white, the green, and the red-orange. I'm probably just going to use two of these. But anyway, the idea is let's try this on the sights of the 1911 and see how this works. So I've got my slide here, and let's check it to see that it's clear and empty. Yep, nothing in the chamber. The slide is clear. So I'll put a little bit of tape there, a bit of masking tape, just kind of cover some of the edges. And the idea is, can I put some of this touch-up paint, even though there's no initial thing here, on the front sight and the rear ARD sights. So that's my my goal here, to see if I can have something that looks and holds up a little bit better than the sight tape, which was not bad, but also I thought for these sort of curvy surfaces on this sort of older style here, it didn't really work as well. So let's see how these sight pins do. Now, if we just need to know what these are the Birchwood Casey. Again, this is the type of one that I found here I'm going to use. And just following the directions here, I need to give it a lot of shake. So I've been shaking it for a while. You can hear like a paint can. There's probably a little bearing in there that's going to rattle. And I had to shake it for quite a bit before I could hear that rattle. But the fact that it's rattling here feels pretty good. Anyway, as with any type of item like this, you want to hear that rattle in there if it's got that piece in there before. And so now I hear it rattling freely up, back and forth. It should be good to go. And let's see what this is like working on the gun sights. Now, a couple of surprising things here that I found out as I'm working with this you might need to know. Now, my first thought upon looking at this is that it's not working. It's all dried out. And here are a few things that are kind of weird. Here's a little tip here. It's kind of like a wick or the tip of a marker, but it's loose. It will come out, and that's actually okay. This is really, really dry. The instructions say if it's dried out, you can take it out and soak it in paint thinner. I'm not sure that's going to help. There's some of the paint or whatever inside there, and so far I haven't been able to get this one to come out. I've been working with the green tip by doing a lot of shaking and a lot of pressing. We're going to see if this one's going to work. Maybe one was dried out and the other one wasn't, but here's kind of what you'll need to see. Okay, if I had to really keep working with this one here, shake and shake and shake, that's what you want to do. Of course, you want to hear this, right? That's not really the final solution. Even though this looks nice and dry, you want to kind of take the pin and push it in. There's a little valve here, and because this is loose, when you push it in, it sort of opens up that valve for the paint down in here. And what you should begin to see eventually is this. Aha. There's a little bit, can you see that there? So a little bit of the paint now on the bottom part of this wick. So when you see that happening, that's actually going to work. So just kind of keep shaking and then pushing and pushing and pushing. Once you see this here, you got to keep pushing, hold it upside down, push it down with the tip, and even for a few minutes, the paint will eventually sort of draw its way up and soak its way up to the tip here, and then you can start to use it. But it can be a long process to activate the paint and then get it to where it gets past this little valve and will sort of soak its way up to the tip. But once you see that, it should work. Just keep pushing. Again, pin upside down, push it down on a piece of paper or something with a hard surface, and then just let it gradually draw its way up there, and it will get to the end. Something that you might not expect, and the directions didn't say anything about this at all, but I read a few online reviews, people saying that it was dried out. They thought it was initially, but this is what you might need to do. So try this out and it should be okay. When you get it working, it should look kind of like this. So here's the green one right here. And at first the tip was white and dried out just like the orange one. So I kept shaking and shaking and kept pushing this in. This will actually go in and push in. And perhaps when it does, makes more contact with the paint there. So I kept doing that for quite a while, a lot of shaking, a lot of pushing and pushing, and I saw this gradually the green paint begin to sort of move up until we have this. When it looks like this, you can actually work with it and use it and paint with it. So that's kind of something to keep in mind if at first it doesn't quite seem to work. A lot of shaking and a lot of pushing and holding in. This will actually press down in, about 1/8 a quarter of an inch or so. So kind of keep doing that. I was able to get this one working, and let's see if I can get the orange one to work as well. So since I got the green one working, I did put it here on this rear sight, and you can see it's sort of what it looks like there, hopefully. Even though it's just, the bare metal finish or the gun or whatever finish it has it on there, it actually goes on pretty well. So I'm just kind of going to let that sit and dry. You can see it still looks a little wet, but it's pretty thick and solid there, and it makes that stand out on this this sight here, the rear sight. And for the front one, still trying to hope to get that orange one to work. But if it does work, if you can get these to the paint to come out, that's what it'll look like on there, which I think does look pretty good, like a serious coating of paint there. And here's what I have with the front there. See if we can kind of focus on that. Looks pretty good. I'm a little disappointed, and I can't tell what the problem is, that the paint in that pen just wasn't quite wet enough, because it didn't go on as quickly and easily as this. So look right there, just how nicely we can see the back sights, but the front sight just didn't quite coat as cleanly, and it's not quite as bright as what we have here. So I'm kind of wondering if I should do another coat on that, or maybe put down the white first and then do the orange on top. So we'll see about that. But anyway, that's what we have so far, and it's pretty good, especially this green color here. Really did work well, and that is better than before, certainly. And here is the end result with the rear sight and the front there. Now what I ended up doing, if you look at the front sight, and you see that I painted, used the white pen, and I painted down white first, and then I redid the red-orange on top. So you can kind of see what that looks like there. Because I don't know if the ink was too dry or just too thin or what, but it wasn't really sticking out. And you can see kind of near the front, right there, that's a little bit of just the red on there. But I painted the white on the back part, let that dry, and then put the red on top, and that actually is much brighter. It looks much better there. I didn't think I would need that white pen at all, but looks like I guess I do. So there's that front sight, and we'll have the rear one right there. So anyway, so far I'm quite pleased with that. That looks really nice. I did a couple of applications, let it dry, and there wasn't quite looking uniform, so I did it again. And the end result is really very bright and nice, and still looks okay there on that. While trying to get the camera to focus. But there we are with the front one. So if you try this, I think it's definitely a nice improvement to your standard 1911 with sights with no color. But my suggestion is maybe try that white first under the red and see if that gives you a brighter color. Or maybe my pen was just kind of a dud. Anyway, that's about it. Hope you like this, and maybe try it out on your own gun.